recording. Okay, fine. Now, we have discussed what we have discussed in the last class, how to install the Python package or Anaconda package, then ideally the number variable and the introductory part of the string. So hope you could install the Python program in your computer. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, time to time, we just try to practice these things so that it will be easier to remember the syntax or the codes. Okay, because see, the language is easy, but the syntax is new to you, so you need some practice. If you do more practices, so then it will be easier to write a code. And in case of your exam, you need to write the code. So better to practice it from now onwards. Now, we have done these things. I can remember that we have seen how to write a string with just a quote. We can use single quote or we can use double quote, no problem. But if already there is a single quote inside the main string, so we need to keep under the double quote. All these things we have done. Okay. Now you can suppose you want to check how many DNA nucleotides or amino acids are there in a particular sequence. So you need to count. You need to count starting from 1 to how many nucleotides are there. Suppose how to do that? You can count manually, but suppose you have a long string, say for example 1,000 or so nucleotides are there. So manually counting is not possible. There is a high chance to make some mistake. So better you can use a programming language or syntax to do that. Suppose there is a function known as len, L-E-N, parenthesis open, parenthesis close. So this is a function which is used to identify the length of a string. So very easy to remember because it is quite similar to the length. Okay, string length. Now, how we can use that? So this is the syntax len within this bracket. You just put the string under the quote. Now, if you run, what will happen? It will show you how many string elements are there. Okay. So what do you think? What it will give? Just you can count it manually and give me the answer. Yes, I unmute yourself and then I can hear you. Or you can write it in chat box also. What will be the length of this particular string?
Sir, 11.
So you are saying 11. Okay, let's try. Yes, it's 11. So now you can see that it is also calculating this space also, blank space also. Okay, so whatever is there, it will count that as a element of a string. Fine. Similarly, if you put this string, so it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can do it. Then check that it will give you 8. Okay. So what I am doing here, I am just putting this DNA sequence or any sequence inside one variable, and then I am printing the length of the DNA variable. All right. Now it's very interesting that how can we use these string properties. Suppose you want a piece of string from the main string. Okay, suppose you have 1,000 nucleotide long DNA sequence and you want 500 to 600 position. So how you can do that? So there are multiple ways to do that. So for that you need to understand what is indexing. Okay, so I think those who have done some programming, so obviously they have already known that what is indexing. Is it visible?
Yes,
This screen.
yes,
So
sir.
there are two letters, two words, Monty Python, and there is a space. Now, so in computer, everything is stored in some place. Okay, every element. So if you think logically, so it has some memory point. Suppose that is starting from 0. Okay, so just like your roll number, usually the roll number, there is no 0 roll number, but it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4 for general convention. But in computer language, it starts with 0 every time. So indexing starts with 0. So that means in 0th position, the letter A means 2. 1 position, O. Second position, N, like that. Okay. So if I am saying I need to write 6 to 9 position. So how we can do that? We will see. For that we need to do this. We need to use this syntax with colon. Okay. So there we will place the starting index from where we are trying to get the sequence. So it starts with 6 where P is there. So we will write that. After that, we will place the position plus 1. So that means if I am trying to get up to 8, so then we will write here not 9, but 9 plus 1, that is 10. Okay. Why? Because I will explain that. And similarly, we can proceed from the backward also. Okay. We can proceed from the backward also, and remember that it is not started with 0 when we are going from the back side. Okay, reverse side. So there the starting index is -1, -1, -2, -3, likewise. Okay. So this is the simple way how we can explain the indexing of a string or a list or a tuple. The same thing. In any data structure, this syntax is followed, as that index position starts with 0 from the front side, and from the back side it starts with -1. So remember this. All right. Next. Okay. So now suppose we are assigning a string here. S is equal to this. So you can check that what is there. So it is as it is printed. You can see that it is printed here in this Jupyter notebook as within this quotes, including these quotes. But you don't want that. So what you want to do? Then you need to write print S. So now you can check that quotes are not there. So yesterday also I told that in Jupyter notebook that is already instructed that whenever you are writing that particular variable, so that variable contains whatever printed as it is. So that's why you are getting this, and when you are printing that particular object, so you are getting only the words. That is the difference. Okay. Now start indexing. So if I want to extract this H, so how we can do that? We use a third bracket. Third bracket means this type of bracket. Okay, so variable name is what? S. That is the variable name, and we are writing the index position. So if we write S within third bracket 0, what it will print? It will print H. Very simple. Now if we print S within third bracket 1, so you can understand what does it mean. E. Similarly, if we write this, what it will print? Quickly you can answer it. You can use your chat box. Following? Anyone? If I write this, what it will print? It's very easy. Are you trying? Anyone? Yes. Rabindranath, what you are saying?
L.
Sorry?
L.
L.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try. Why it is D? Coming as D. So you said this, but remember that it starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, what was that? Yeah. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. But remember that I told you just now that when you are calling it 11, so it will print the just before that thing. So that means it will print the index of 10. That means it is printing D, not L. So what is the index of this? This is already 10, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So if you print that, so you are getting that is D. Is it okay?
Yes.
So now it is working. Now you can play with this thing. You will understand how it is working. Now suppose you want to grab this chunk of sequences. So what you can do? So suppose you want to extract from second position to the last, from here to here. So for that, what you can do, you can use this kind of syntax where you are writing this variable name, then within the third bracket, you are writing from which position you want to start, then colon, and then you are putting nothing, just closing this third one. So what you are getting? You are getting from the second position. You can check that 0, 1, 2, right? 0, 1, 2. So it starts with this. Actually, from index side, it is second index, but if you count it from position, so it is the third position. Yes or no? 0, 1, 2.
Yes, sir.
So index wise, it is 2, but position wise, first, second, third position. So you will get this. Similarly, but remember that you are not mutating the actual string. You are not changing that, because if you run this, you will get the exact same very old string. It is not actually changed. Okay, you are just tested that what it will do. Similarly, you can grab everything up to the 30. So that means you are not putting any number at the beginning, at the front side of that colon, but after that you are pressing 3. Okay, so it is what it will print. So it will print HEL or HELL or HELLO. What it will print?
Sir, HELL.
Okay, but
Sir, HEL.
yes, why so? Can you explain? Who is saying HEL will be
Sir,
printed?
because it is starting from the 0. So
0.
H is 0, E is 1, L is 1, and then the second L is H is
0.
0, E is 1, L is 2, and
Yes.
the second L is 3.
Yes, but why it is printing only HEL, not 2L?
Because sir, we are using the syntax to
Oh, sir, I
grab it
understand.
from the third.
That means since we are using within that index, so that means we are choosing from the start point to the point before the third index.
Right.
I
So
mean, the
that's why
third index is a limit.
yes, n-1. So remember that syntax. So that's why even if you are putting 3, so it is not going up to that 0, 1, 2, 3. So you may think that it will print this 3 also, but no, it will not going to that part. It will move to n-1 position. That means 3 minus 1, that is second position up to this. Okay, so that is the logic. So if you use this and if you play around this, it will be easy to follow what is going on. Okay, so that is very easy. Just to remember the logic that every time it will move to n-1 position in case of this kind of thing. Okay. And if you want everything, so you don't put anything before and after this column, it will print everything. Okay, so this is only one way to do this. You can do it multiple ways. Okay, so this meeting will end in 10 minutes. So I will take another 15 minutes. Okay, so join this link again if it is disconnected. Now, I told you that we can use this string thing in our bioinformatics analysis very much. Suppose this is a very simple example given here. So this is the DNA sequence. You can count that how many nucleotides are there. So for that, you need to use this len operator, right? And then if you want to the coordinate, I think you have already known that what is gene coordinate, right? So that is the position of that particular nucleotide. So if you want to find out that 3 to 6, so you are using this syntax 2 to 6 from index point of view, not the coordinate point of view, but the index point of view. You are writing 2 to 6. Okay, so do that, you will get the answer. So length, you can count that it will be 10, and coordinate 3, that means 1, 2, 3, and from the index point of view, it is 2, 0, 1, 2. Okay, and coordinate 6 will be here in this top position. You are placing 6 because it will print the 6th element, isn't it? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means 6 is G, but it will not go up to 6. It will print up to T. I think this example is clear. If not, then inform me. I will repeat this. So you need to remember that there is two things. One is index.
Sir?
And, yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes. Yes.
Sir, index and coordinates are different.
Yes. From programming point of view, we are using index number. Okay, that starts with 0. Okay, but in case of your gene coordinate, that starts with 1, isn't it? You are not saying that if I say what is the first nucleotide in your sequence, so you will say A, because you are not counting from 0, just like your roll number, isn't it? You are not going to say that my roll number is 0, because conventionally we use the term that what is the first roll number, that is 1. Just like that, in coordinate case also, gene coordinate case also, if you know that gene coordinate starts with 1, so that gene coordinate 1 is equivalent to index 0 for that string. Is it clear?
Sir, that means the index will always be 1 minus of the coordinate.
No, that is for the last one. That is for the last one. From where to where
Okay.
you are running. First index is always 0. And if you are using this kind of syntax, colon syntax, for getting a chunk, so then you need to remember that you will be go up to n minus 1 index. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So similarly, I told you that the last index is -1, right? This one, G index is -1 if you are moving from back side. Okay, so you will get this. Sorry. Okay, so it is taking from S, so that's why it is D, because in that case, hello world was there, right? So if you change it to DNA, you'll get G. Okay. So similarly, if you write here DNA, and if you are using colon -1, so this is what it will print. Can anyone say? Just now I told you that this is the syntax. If this is the syntax, grab everything up to the third index. Now put that same logic here. So it will grab everything but the last character, the last letter. Okay. So it will print the DNA excluding the last H. So first time if you are doing this, you might be confused. But what I can say that if you are using twice or thrice, so then the logic will be clear. That there is no big deal. It is not so tough that you cannot remember that. It is simple logic, nothing else. Okay. Now next, you can use the step size also. Suppose here what you are doing, you are counting it one by one, right? Using this syntax, colon syntax, you are counting one by one, and that's why you are getting the consecutive sequences. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you want to extract the second, fourth, sixth, this kind of letters, so that is also possible. So that is the size of the stick. So you can mention it here if you are using 2 colon and then step size. Okay, so simple example with this. I am taking this example from Hello World because that will be easy to count. What is that? Hello. So S equals to Hello World. Okay. Now, if you write this syntax, it will print this because you are instructing that you do it step by step. Means one step at a time. You are mentioning that step size. Okay. Now, if you do the same job, you are trying to write all the sequences, but a step size of 2, using a step size of 2. So what you can do, you can change and you can see that it is printing, but it is printing the first and then the third and then the sixth like this. Can you follow? So it is jumping one step, so 2 steps at a time. After H, it is printing L, but then it is printing O because it is jumping not for the first element but the second element. Are you getting the point? So you can use 3, 4, but you know, if that
Sir,
much
please
of
repeat this step. Sir, please repeat this one.
okay, so what is going on? Suppose you want to extract or you want to print the first element and then not the second but the third element, not the fourth but the fifth element like this. Okay, you want to omit the next element. Suppose the output will be like this: H, L, O, W, R, D. Okay, so you can see, you can check the pattern that what it is going on. H, after that E is not printed, L is printed. After that L is not printed, but O is printed. After that space is not there, W is printed. O is not there, R is printed, right? So it is jumping. It is jumping one size. Step size is 2 here. So that's why you are writing the step size not 1, but step size. If you use step size 2, you will get such thing. Okay. So that is used for particular cases. Not every time you will use this kind of thing, but when you intentionally you want to do that, so you can directly write this kind of syntax so that you can extract the